Need gas and need to use the restroom, so making a quick stop off on the way to DC. I am actually stopping at Gainesville, Virginia. So far, this Gainesville sucks compared to mine. But I thought it was amusing, and since I was needing gas anyway, I figured I would stop here just because of the city name. So, little pit stop and then back on the road. So I have officially made it to Washington, D.C. Just crossed over the river a moment ago, and I'm on East Street. Gonna go check out my parking garage destination here and see if this pans out. I have pretty good faith in this just based on the Google reviews and information out there, so this looks like it's pretty promising. Just one thing that very interesting here is I just got into DC all of 60 seconds ago and already ran across a small tent setup there where some people are obviously living in tents just on the side of the road from East Street here. So already run into a tent city, and I've heard about a lot of things like that up north here. It's not something that is generally noticeable and prevalent in Florida. You know, if there's tent cities and stuff, then it's usually just kind of hidden away in the woods or something. But here's right in the middle of the city. So that was interesting. So onto my parking garage. Garage here at the George Washington University. I'm on the fourth or maybe technically fifth floor. I guess technically fifth floor below ground. So you know, kind of the exact polar opposite of where I was in Atlanta, going to the very top of the parking garage. Here I'm actually at the very bottom of the parking garage here. And everything that I saw on Google about this place was dead on accurate. The picture and the sign, rates and all that are exactly what I was expecting. I am here later than I expected to be for today because I'm going to the caverns and other things this morning. So I'm getting here just about, it's 3:15 p.m. And it's Monday. So basically I'm going to be charged probably the full $16 for the 3 to 5 p.m. rates, and then the reset happens at 5 p.m. where then it's basically I'm going to be racking up another $16, but that is going to be good for a whole day until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So I will, well, I should be well out of here by 5 p.m. tomorrow. If anything, that kind of is just setting my maximum leave time there so that I can start driving back. But pretty happy with this spot. I like to go to the more distant areas, either the top or the bottom of parking garages. Just generally there's less traffic, less people going through, you know, so less likeliness of you know, people seeing my vehicle to make it a little bit less of a target. Down here in a parking garage, I am also going to do something a little bit different in leaving my car this time. Is I'm going to go ahead and set up my Reflectix windows blockers and just to kind of block some of the back windows so that anybody driving by and all that isn't getting any kind of a sneak peek into looking into the vehicle. But other than that, it's a nice and quiet atmosphere in here. I think this would be a good spot. And a kind of a funny thing about this spot that I chose as well here, I actually have cold water. I have running water here by my car. So that's just kind of amusing. I'm not gonna assume that it's potable or anything. I have no idea what the source of that actually is, but you know, I have my utility water, and I might consider refilling that. But you know, even if I don't need it, it's just funny to me to actually have running water here at my campsite. So I'm gonna get the car ready and then head back above ground and start looking around and exploring. So I'm stepped off to the side a little bit here, but you can kind of see the White House in the background. Over to the side here, because if you look over here, you can see there's just a massive swarm of tourists and people trying to get in that perfect spot so to really be able to get in a shot with the White House there. So I've obviously made it to DC now, and just doing a quick panorama at the moment. If you look behind me, you can see the Washington Monument. So I'm kind of making my way a general that way direction for no reason other than it was the easiest monument for me to see from when I was just walking. I just kind of started walking since parking in the garage, and since then just walked by a couple of different interesting things that I don't really know what they were, but obviously historical of some kind. Looking to just mainly hit the major highlights, you know, obviously White House, Washington Monument, See if I can see the congressional building and everything here soon as well. But I'm just kind of taking a random direction, walking, and I might pick up one of the scooters here at some point because it looks like that people are really using those pretty heavily here, so we'll see how it goes. So finally, after 3 days of driving, come to the pinnacle of the trip. I finally reached Washington, D.C. and started walking around a little bit, seen a couple of the monuments, walked by the White House, and I'm now at the Washington Monument, which is my favorite monument in D.C. I've been here one other time before when I was a kid, but you know, it's interesting to come back as an adult now and kind of relive some of that trip and kind of recall some of the memories as well as making some new ones from this. So this is basically the climax of the trip. So if you're watching, yes, you basically just watched me climax. Not sure where I'm going to go from here. I think I'm going to Google and find a close by coffee shop or maybe something that I can just stop at on the way to my next destination. Of course, I would have to have a next destination for that, but I don't. So I think I'm going to go in a general that-a-way direction because I think I see the Jefferson Memorial. I think that'd be a good next kind of destination to go to. So that's what I'm going to try for next. So I've reached the Capitol building here. It's kind of amusing that in front of the Capitol building the reflecting pool has been drained. So basically the reflecting pool is empty, about like our Congress. So yeah, just thought that was a bit amusing there, but got the building right behind me here. Basically been walking along and was hoping to be able to pick up one of these scooters for any of them, whether it's the Uber ones or Lime, or there seem to be like 4 or 5. But the few that I've actually gone up to said it could not reserve, so I'm guessing that they're dead. And one of them I went up to, I thought was finally going to get it because the app was scanning it and everything. And the guy came up right as I was trying to work on it. He's like, and he goes to pick it up because apparently it's dead. So I guess that makes sense with it being the end of the day here and people probably using them to get home from work and stuff, it being a Monday. But I'm still hoping to find one at some point so that I don't destroy my feet walking. Because I've walked a good probably 5 or 6 miles now so far since getting to DC, and looks like I'll be continuing to walk for a little while longer. Really need to find a restroom. That seems to be a bit of a challenge so far, so that's my current quest. So I'm now in the DC train station, which I ended up in just on my quest for a restroom that ended up taking more than an hour. So I kind of started out in the general area close to the White House and then zigzagged around a little bit. When I saw the Washington Monument, started walking that direction, got there, and I was getting ready to head toward the Lincoln Memorial, but decided it made more sense at the time to just head toward the Capitol building instead. So went to the Capitol building and was trying to go to the visitor center there, as I figured that there'd be a restroom there. Got there just as it was closing, so they ran out of options there. So I just kept walking, and on the map I saw a Walgreens was coming up. I had no idea it was a Walgreens in this giant train station, but that's what brought me here. And this place is like a train station slash mall slash restaurants everywhere, and could easily take the mall from where I'm from. Probably fit 10 of them in this building alone. It is huge, and I think it's pretty neat looking also. The way that the roof and everything is set up. So I just came up to the top floor here to be able to get a couple of these shots. Also finally found a restroom when I got here, and then ended up going and getting an iced coffee and some water. Walked quite a distance. I'm curious to see what according to my devices, I've actually walked as far as distance so far here. I think I'm gonna hang out, see if there's anything else interesting to see here, and then probably catch an Uber or a Lyft or something to go from here straight to the Lincoln Memorial. And hopefully by then I'll be able to find some scooters out. You know, I'm really hoping that the people that are out going to picking them up and charging them and all that are getting them back out to the roads from all the people going home from work and everything. So hopefully, if everything works out well here, I will get to the Lincoln Memorial and then be able to take a scooter from there to wherever I want to go. So that is the current thinking of planning, of conceptualizing a plan there. We'll see how it goes. So part of my being in DC and just wandering around and all that is one of my goals is to try to look and act as much like a local as I kind of can. So just kind of blending in with crowds as I'm walking around. I'm probably a bit of a victim of flocking, just like with animals and all that. There's a big group of people, and I don't really have a particular destination in mind as I'm walking, so I end up just kind of going with some of the larger groups of people and going where they go. So kind of being carried just by the local population here, except no matter how much I try, I stand out like a sore thumb because there's a particular group and demographic of everybody that seems to be here. So the big thing is that everybody that's walking around has some kind of bag on them, a backpack, duffel bag even, a briefcase, laptop bag, something like that. The only exception seems to be some of the people wearing suits or parents pushing around their kids, and even the women have really large purses. So I have no bag or anything on me right now, and as silly as that sounds, it is a big thing that actually makes me stand out from other people. I'm literally the only person in my visual range right now that doesn't have kind of bag. Even this guy that's going to be coming up on my left in just a second is running with a freaking backpack on. So it seems like wearing a bag is either a fashion statement or some kind of a necessity here. I've been kind of just following the general traffic movements that people do also, like learning when you can actually safely cross the road even before the light says that you can, because everybody seems to step out a few seconds beforehand. They have all learned the lights in the system here. So kind of just working with the groups like that. I just left the train station just a minute ago, just kind of randomly walking. I'm kind of walking back toward the Capitol building because I'd really like to be able to start working my way toward Lincoln Memorial. And if I could find a scooter or something to ride on that long stretch in front of the Capitol building, that would be pretty awesome. Alternative is going to be Uber or Lyft or something, so we'll see which one works out. But just quick observations about the local culture here, and just some big differences compared to where I'm from and even just other cities that I've visited on this trip. So I slowed down on taking some video because I'm actually just about out of space on my phone until I get back to some kind of Wi-Fi somewhere to upload my next batch of footage. I've taken quite a few photos and videos on the tour today. I successfully walked one end of DC to the other end of DC completely. So after that, I decided to go a little bit easy on myself, and I picked up an e-scooter pretty close to the Capitol building, and I actually took it all the way here to now the Lincoln Memorial. So that was a fun couple of miles. It took me about 20 minutes, I think the app said, and that was pretty easy to go through and do. Actually, I kind of got the hang of it after about 5 minutes finally. So that was fun, and that's going to be the end of probably video for today, unless I can find some Wi-Fi to upload.